They say some houses are haunted, but what happens when an entire neighborhood gets caught up in a paranormal investigation? In the late 1970s, the quiet town of Enfield, England, became home to one of the most terrifying hauntings ever recorded. A small council house was suddenly filled with chaos. Furniture moved by itself, toys launched across rooms, and neighbors claimed to hear disembodied voices echoing from the walls. But as the story of the Enfield Poltergeist unfolded, so did the mystery of how the horror happened. Was it all just a trick of the light or something far more sinister? Join us today as we take you back to Enfield, where every creaking floorboard tells a tale of terror and every shadow seems to hold a secret. This is the story of the ghost of Enfield. Enfield is a neighborhood in North London known for its tree-lined streets and quiet suburban charm. So imagine the shock when in 1978, a local council house at 239 Green Lanes became the epicenter of supernatural activity. For those living there, it would turn into a nightmare they could never wake up from. The house had been recently refurbished and was occupied by a single mother of three, Peggy Hodgson. Despite facing financial hardship and raising kids alone, she managed to maintain a warm and loving home. But this changed drastically after her son, Mark, noticed some unusual occurrences. First, objects began to move around the house without any explanation. Books fell off shelves, ornaments flew off tables. Then the scarier incidents started happening. He and his two sisters witnessed chairs and beds moving by themselves, even heard whispers coming from empty rooms. It felt like someone or something was lurking in their home, waiting to strike. At first, Peggy dismissed these incidents as tricks of the light or her imagination playing games. She figured that living in a drafty old house with overactive imaginations must have gotten to her children. That is, until she experienced it herself. One evening, while watching television with her sons, she saw a chair move across the room. She might have ignored it, if it was not for the fact that it happened right in front of her eyes. Suddenly she realized that her house was genuinely haunted. Terrified yet intrigued, she decided to investigate further. She soon discovered that she was not alone in her ordeal. Many of her neighbors had also experienced similar strange occurrences in their own homes. As stories of ghostly encounters spread through the tight-knit community, fear began to grip the neighborhood. People spoke of seeing apparitions in their windows, hearing mournful cries in the dead of night, and feeling cold spots that sent shivers down their spines. Even the bravest residents couldn't help but feel unsettled in their own homes. With the whole town talking about the eerie events, the situation soon caught the attention of the media. Sensing a good story, newspapers descended upon the town, eager to publish the latest updates on the Enfield Poltergeist. Headlines blared of ghostly goings-on, keeping the town in a constant state of unease. As more people became aware of the supposed hauntings, more stories emerged, each one adding to the chilling narrative of the Enfield Poltergeist. Amidst this growing hysteria, the skeptics also arrived on the scene. Scientists, psychologists, and paranormal investigators came forward with alternative theories, suggesting that the haunting was nothing more than a hoax perpetuated by the townspeople for attention. Amidst the escalating chaos, Peggy found herself torn between those who believed in her story and those who thought it was all a fabrication. Desperate for answers, she turned to one of Britain's leading paranormal investigators, Harry Price. Having studied the supernatural for years, he had a reputation for uncovering the truth behind ghostly tales. Initially skeptical, Harry soon found himself confronted with experiences he couldn't explain away. One such incident occurred during a conducted by the Ghost Club, a group dedicated to investigating paranormal phenomena. As the group gathered in the Hodgson home, the atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation. Suddenly, a bookcase flew across the room, crashing to the floor amidst a cloud of dust. Witnesses gasped as the heavy structure lay where it had stopped, defying gravity and logic. It was clear that something extraordinary had occurred. Harry Price's skepticism began to crumble, and he started taking the haunting seriously. Eager to gather more evidence, he set up cameras and recording equipment in the house. What followed was nothing short of astonishing. In one instance, a photograph developed to reveal two young girls levitating above their beds. Their faces were serene, their bodies suspended in midair, as if pulled upwards by an invisible force. Another recording captured a growl that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. sending chills down anyone who listened. Despite the mounting evidence, skeptics remained unconvinced. They argued that the photographs were manipulated and the recordings could have been faked. However, the sheer volume of evidence began to overwhelm their doubts. As news of the Enfield Poltergeist spread, people from all over came to witness the haunting for themselves. Among them were Guy Playfair, a prominent author and paranormal investigator, and Tony and Beryl Leiber, a husband and wife investigative team. Each brought their unique perspectives and expertise to the case, eager to contribute to the understanding of the Enfield Poltergeist. Their investigations would become pivotal in shaping the narrative of the haunting. Guy Playfair, renowned for his exploration of the paranormal, brought a wealth of knowledge and experience to the Enfield Poltergeist case. He had investigated numerous hauntings before, and his methodical approach was instrumental in documenting the Enfield Poltergeist activities. Playfair meticulously recorded each event, noting the date, time, and specific details of each occurrence. He interviewed witnesses, including the Hodgson family and neighbors, and analyzed their accounts to identify patterns and connections. Meanwhile, Tony and Beryl, experts in electronic voice phenomena, focused on capturing audio evidence of the haunting. They set up recording equipment throughout the Hodgson's house, hoping to capture voices or sounds that could shed light on the mystery. Their efforts paid off when they recorded what sounded like footsteps, whispers, and even full-blown conversations seemingly coming from the walls or empty rooms. These recordings provided a tangible piece of evidence that added credibility to the haunting. Playfair and the Leahers' findings were invaluable in establishing the Enfield Poltergeist as one of the most documented paranormal cases in history. Their investigations provided a foundation for understanding the haunting, and the evidence they gathered continues to be studied and debated today. But as they dug deeper, they uncovered a disturbing pattern. The hauntings seemed to center around the bedrooms of the two youngest daughters, Janet and Lucien. As if drawn to the unseen, the girls became mediums through which the poltergeist activity manifested. The researchers witnessed firsthand as objects moved, shook, or flew from seemingly nowhere. But the scariest part was yet to come. During their investigations, Janet and Lucien began levitating, rising above their beds and floating through the house. They would spin, twirl, and even fly backwards, seemingly defying the laws of physics. While the investigators watched in awe, others weren't so convinced. Skeptics argued that the levitation was a hoax, perhaps orchestrated by the girls or their mother, Peggy. However, the sheer spectacle of the levitating girls captivated the public imagination and cemented the Enfield Poltergeist in popular culture. The case baffled scientists and religious leaders alike. No one could offer a satisfactory explanation for the hauntings or the girls' levitation. Some believed it was the work of Satan, while others saw it as a natural phenomenon beyond human comprehension. Despite the lack of concrete answers, the Enfield Poltergeist remains one of the most fascinating paranormal cases ever investigated. The story of the haunting has inspired countless books, documentaries, and even films, keeping the memory of the Enfield Poltergeist alive for generations to come. As the case unfolded, the investigators encountered something they couldn't explain away as simple poltergeist activity. The girls, Janet and Lucien, began exhibiting strange behaviors, speaking in different voices, claiming to be possessed by spirits. The girls' unsettling words sent shivers down their spines as they described terrifying apparitions and sinister forces at play.
Ow.
The investigators grappled with the possibility that the haunting was more than just a case of poltergeist activity. Could there be something darker, more sinister lurking in the house? Despite the chilling developments, the investigators pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind the haunting. They continued their observations, recordings, and interviews, hoping to piece together the puzzle of the Enfield Poltergeist. Their dedication led to a treasure trove of evidence that continues to captivate and intrigue paranormal enthusiasts today. The Enfield Poltergeist case remains a subject of intense fascination and debate. Among paranormal investigators and skeptics alike, some argue that the hauntings were genuine, pointing to the overwhelming evidence and the personal experiences of those involved. Others believe it was a hoax, suggesting that the girls fabricated the activity for attention or to escape a troubled home life. However, regardless of one's stance on the authenticity of the hauntings, the Enfield Poltergeist has left an indelible mark on popular culture. The story has been featured in numerous books, documentaries, and TV shows, captivating audiences with its chilling details and unexplained phenomena. The case serves as a reminder of the enduring human fascination with the paranormal and the blurred line between reality and the supernatural. What do you think happened in the Enfield Poltergeist case? Do you believe that the haunting was real and that malevolent forces were at play? Or do you think it was a carefully constructed hoax? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Phantom Archives for more spine-chilling mysteries. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the darkest corners of our world. Until next time, stay safe and keep an eye out for the shadows, because sometimes they hold secrets we were not meant to see.